It's time we talk about Kai Havertz, who in 2024 has shown that he is not a flop, that Arteta was right all along, and he's popped up in some big games. He's had winners, Brentford, Luton. He was brilliant versus Liverpool back in January, and today versus Tottenham, he was brilliant. And we're going to dive into his game versus Tottenham in a minute and break it down for you guys. But first of all, we're going to start by talking about Kai Havertz, a guy that I was like, well, if Arteta gets the Leverkusen Havertz out, it's a good signing, but I think they've overspent a bit, and I'm not sure, but we'll see. And then he started a bit iffy, but then I think as he's gone more into the centre-forward role, as he's played further ahead, and as he's got his confidence and been coached, and Arsenal sort of got their rhythm together and understood Arteta's tactics this season, he's been brilliant. And we see statistics here, like a goal contribution every 55 minutes at centre-forward, 13. He has the same amount of non-penalty contributions as Cole Palmer this season, non-penalty goals as well, which is an interesting stat there. And I think in 2024, he's been incredible. But we're here to talk about his performance versus Tottenham, why he was so key in Arsenal's win versus Tottenham. So let's have a look at that. Now, first of all, 100% chance conversion. He finished his chance. He didn't get much of the ball. Arsenal didn't create a lot, but he was clinical Kai. He was someone that Arsenal didn't create a lot. He didn't have loads of the ball. Arsenal let Tottenham have more of the ball today, but Arsenal did the job. Arsenal, let Tottenham have elements of control of that game. They tried to control the game off the ball. Wasn't maybe Arsenal's best all-round performance, but they did everything to perfection to win that game. Saka takes his opportunity. Havertz takes his opportunity. They look like a Manchester City who, again, to be honest, I thought Forest outplayed Manchester City today, where, they're not at their best, but they find a way to win because they've got that mentality. Against all the pressure, they win. And at the end of the day, Arsenal deserved to win. They scored 3 goals for a reason. They've got that quality. And Kai Havertz did everything he could with the ball. He wasn't having the ball loads, but when he got the ball, he was holding it up. He was playing the ball. He was passing the ball. 20 passes completed, 2 chances created, 1 assist, 1 goal. He did everything today. He really did. He was an outlet to Arsenal. We're going to dive into that in more detail. But I want to talk about Kai Havertz in 2024. I mean, look at this, 15 games, 8 goals, 5 assists. That's 13 goal contributions in 2024. More than he ever did in a whole season for Chelsea, he's done in the second half of the season. I tell you, what does confidence do to a player? Of course, Arteta has to take a lot of credit for, helping, and putting his faith in Kai and giving him time and then finding his best role, of course. But also Havertz, the confidence. You can see he got a lot of stick when he first joined Arsenal, and then when he got one, and then when he got another, he grew with confidence. And if you look at the goals and you look at the assists in 2024, and football's not all about goals and assists, which is why I actually want to analyse his whole game against Tottenham, because he's a lot more than goals and assists. And when he wasn't getting the goals and assists, we were praising his off-the-ball work, we were praising his movement, and we're going to talk about that because that is still one of the best in the league. But only Palmer and Watkins have more goal contributions than him in 2024, and Palmer takes all those penalties as well, just to, show you how good Havertz has been for Arsenal. So let's talk about Havertz. 27 starts, 12 goals, 6 assists. Nobody with less starts than him has more goal contributions. 13 goal contributions in the last 11 games. 24 years of age, got his confidence, coming of age, and I think he'll get even better next season. And I think, interestingly, Arteta's found his best role in the centre-forward position, particularly in the big games. Havertz offers a lot as a centre-forward, and we're going to break that down now. First of all, he's just winning the headers. Havertz has always been good in the air. West Ham game, where he was actually playing deeper in midfield, West Ham very good in the air. Havertz was winning the headers, allowing them to win those sort of first balls in the air, and then Arsenal could constantly attack West Ham. In the Liverpool game, he was very good in the air. Konate is one of the most physical beast players, and Havertz caused them so many issues. And not just that, but Havertz's movement was drawing Konate out of position. He was making rash tackles. Konate got sent off. In those big games, Havertz is an outlet in the air, whether he's dropping into midfield and, winning those balls and allowing them to play over the press, whether he's in attack. He's very good at winning headers in the air and then playing that forward. And as you can see here, Havertz, because he's good in the air, allows Arsenal, they don't always have to build out from the back. He allows Arsenal to go long because he can head the ball over, he can hold up the ball, and that allows Arsenal a bit of time to get more players up the pitch. And then they have more players up the pitch, so when they're up the pitch, they can retain the ball better and have more control in the final third. Not only does he do that, but his defensive work rate's very good. Tottenham, I actually thought, had a decent game today. They had a lot of possession. They had some chances that they missed. Maybe Romero could have had 1 or 2. And Arsenal had a lot of defending to do because they let Tottenham control lots of the game. It was, away to Tottenham Hotspur. You know, a lot of pressure. They had 2 weeks rest. You know, Arsenal didn't have as much of the ball as they normally do. So they had a lot more to do off the ball. And Kai, who's playing as the number 9, was getting back here to tackle Maddison when he could have put in a very good cross. But let's break down Kai Havertz's game. Let's break down his best moment for me. And this was this pass here. Not only did he score his goal, but he set up the goal as well. And this was a brilliant set-up goal. That ball into Saka was pitch perfect. Arsenal have an opportunity to transition. He could play the safe pass. He gets his head up. He plays that pass into Saka, who receives the ball. Obviously sends Ben Davies to the shop. Bosh. And then a couple minutes later, right after that goal, he gets the ball here. He retains the ball. He plays the ball out, runs, all of that. And then eventually, after this pass, this pass actually results in the corner. What happens when they have the corner? Kai Havertz scores a header. And what a well-taken header. I mean, Tottenham today were horrific on set pieces, absolutely horrific. But Kai Havertz was winning it all in the air. I think he won 8 out of 9 of his headers or 7 out of 8 of his headers. He was winning everything in the air. He was winning the defensive set pieces. He was winning the attacking set pieces. He was causing problems. He was winning the balls over the top. So when Raya hit it long, Kai Havertz was holding it up, playing it out, allowing Arsenal to keep possession and keep the ball higher up the pitch. His hold-up and link-up play was very, very good. You know, he didn't get a lot of service today, but his all-round game as a centre-forward was brilliant. And when he did get the service, a good cross in, Bosh, he delivered. Only shot of the game, he scores it, holds up the ball, facilitates his wingers, good pass to Saka, Bosh. And he was winning everything in the air, allowing Arsenal that domination. And Arsenal have been unbelievable at set pieces. But this is what I mean about what stood out for Kai Havertz today and why this was a complete centre-forward. Kai Havertz showed elements of a complete centre-forward today because Harry Kane used to do this, and obviously not comparing him to Harry Kane. But the ball's coming at him here. He's got his back to goal. He uses his body to control the ball, keep the ball at his feet, and then he just passes it. He just keeps the ball. And that happened 3, 4, 5 times where the ball was coming right at Havertz. He heads it. He uses his chest to control it. He keeps the ball. He's winning all the balls in the air. He's winning all the long balls, allowing Arsenal, you know, they can evade this phase and build up. They can just play it long to Havertz because he can control it. And then he can keep the ball, retain the ball, play it on, which is what you want in your centre forward. And he was doing that. He was defending set pieces incredibly well. His back to goal game was really good. You see Havertz here. He receives the ball with his back to goal. He lays out a pass. His back to goal game allowed Arsenal to keep the ball better in the final third and not give it away sillily, to allow Arsenal to have transition, to allow Tottenham to have opportunities on the transition. Every time he got the ball with his back to goal, he kept the ball, he played out of the Tottenham press, and he just passed the ball forward. And there was a couple times where he drifts out wide, and we've seen it not particularly so much in this game, but we've seen it in other games this season where Kai Havertz has got into wide spaces. He's drawn, you know, the physical centre-back out with him because he's the tall player. He's the guy you need to mark if you're the tall centre-back, and that's opened up space for opposition to score. Today he was getting down the left flank and he delivered in a really, really good cross to Saka, which you'd argue Saka maybe could have done a little bit better from that cross, but he was delivering in good crosses. And you know with Kai Havertz, he can cross the ball, he can pass it long, he can hold up the ball, he can shoot, and you know he can do everything off the ball. We spoke about Kai Havertz off the ball work and how good it is, and we will give you a little bit more detail on that. But today he showed he can do it on the ball. We've always known he can do it off the ball, but even here, there's an opportunity to transition. Spurs have a corner. Kai Havertz then wins the second ball header, lays it onto Martinelli. Martinelli's through to transition. They obviously waste it. Tottenham really pressing these last 5-10 minutes. What does Kai Havertz do? He regains possession to stop Tottenham transition. He put in this defensive shift, and then when he had the ball, he was making the right pass. He was keeping the ball. He was allowing Arsenal to retain the ball. We won all of his headers. He was winning everything today. And his back to goal game is so impressive. And that's what stood out for me. Very tough situation here. Receives the ball with his back to goal, can turn and keep the ball. But it was not just that. Here was an opportunity where, again, Spurs had a corner. Kai Havertz gets the ball with his back to goal, turns, starts a transition opportunity for Arsenal and plays it forward there to Rice. One touch, and then he plays the ball forward with his back to goal, helping Arsenal get forward. And this was sort of my summary that I tweeted. I said Kai Havertz is the perfect example of why new signings need to be given time and not written off after a couple of months. In December, he was voted the worst signing of the season. Now he has 13 goals and assists in his last 11 games. As a 9, averages a goal contribution every 58 minutes, and off the ball was one of the best / hardest working players in the league. He showed up for Arsenal in so many big games, Liverpool, Chelsea, Spurs, I can think of off the top of my head. I'm sure there's more. He scored a last-minute winner versus Brentford and Luton. His hold-up play versus Tottenham was brilliant. He was a great outlet for Arsenal, helping them have a little bit of control in the final third, keep the ball, was winning all his headers, scored a great assist, scored a great header. But what we know about Kai Havertz, and this is why he's been so good pre this Arsenal game, is Kai Havertz made loads of clever runs in behind. The Chelsea game, I mean, Odegaard was man of the match, but Kai Havertz's ability to time and make those runs in behind, we even saw it in his earlier days at Arsenal when he wasn't as good, but we could see Kai Havertz getting into the right areas. Oh, Kai, you should have scored that. But he was getting into the right areas. He was making runs into the right areas, causing problems, having shots, being a nuisance. He can make runs in behind, whether it's on transition, on the break. He makes those box crashing runs where he literally can just crash into the box, make those box crashing runs which are impossible for defenders to mark because he just comes out of nowhere, and as he's running Arsenal make a cross, he can get his head on it because he's very good in the air. He can get his foot on it. He makes those unpredictable box crashing runs. We know that he makes runs off the ball where he can drag the defender out with him, and that would open up space for Odegaard or Saka to have a shot. And he's been pre-assisted and involved in so many goals that he hasn't got a goal and assist in because of that. We know off the ball his movement, his pressing, his work rate is one of the best. He tracks back, he presses, he makes it difficult for oppositions to play out, and he creates space for his team. We know how good he is off the ball, but today he showed his ability on the ball, heading, controlling the ball. And I have to say, fair play to Arteta for getting this out of Havertz. He looks like the Leverkusen Havertz. Fair play to Havertz because you've exceeded my expectation. I knew how good Leverkusen Havertz was, and I said maybe Arteta is onto something here with this Havertz signing, but I still wasn't fully convinced, especially when he was playing more so in midfield. But the way Havertz has developed into this really important player for Arsenal, and what Arteta's done to believe in him, you have to give Arsenal credit. Anyway, thank you for watching. Let me know your thoughts down below. Smash a like, smash a subscribe. See you next time. Bye.